Shalom Akim, Shalom Akwathiam. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kradash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And bear with me, Akim, I took a little break here, so if you hear some shuffling about in the background, it's because I'm actually sitting in a parking lot. But nevertheless, I wanted to get this quick lesson done. took a small break at work, and I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, it is edifying. But as you can see in this article that I have pulled up for you, and also a video too as well, it states in the caption, it reads, Trump orders the reopening of Alcatraz prison. And why should this matter to you, or should I say to us as the hope of the elect? Because we all have to prepare for Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. You have to keep this in the forefront of your mind. This devil is going to throw many of us into prison. We all have to prepare for that because we know it that his time is short. All right, let me come out of this before I play this. You know, let me make mention of this too as well, because many of these Jakes, many of these silly Negroes, their mind is not focused on prophecy. They're focusing on 100 men fighting a damn gorilla. But those of us who are of the hope elect, we're watching the prophecies, man. We're measuring the time diligently. Our mind isn't caught up or wrapped up in folly. You know, as the scripture states, folly is set in a high place, man. Let me come out of this here. Let me get right into the precepts here because I'm short on time. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12, and it reads, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. Woe unto the inhabitants of earth, but why is that? And of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you. And who's that devil? Esau, Edom, the elites, the Edomites, having great wrath, setting draconian measures, because he knoweth that his time is short. Again, I can't put enough emphasis on this. We all have to prepare for this, man. If you're watching these videos, even for those of us that post these videos, they already know our IP address. And if you don't know what an IP address is, look it up, okay? Remember, I'm going to jog your memory just a few months ago when they sent out those racist plantation text messages to so-called blacks only, all right? They already know who we are. You understand? You have to prepare your mind for that, man. Let me come out of this and let me get one more precept and I'm going to play this video here. Pardon me, you know, just reading these scriptures just get you kind of fired up in the spirit. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 71 on down, it tells us this, that these elites, Esau, he's going to be what? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, right? Sparing no one, but plundering and destroying. Listen to what it says here specifically. But plundering and destroying those who continue to fear the Lord. Verse 72, for they shall destroy and plunder their goods and drive them out of their houses. Then the tested quality of mine elect, and the elect are the children of Israel, that 1/3, that grape of a cluster. All right, Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4 and 5. The elect are the children of Israel, but right now just that 1/3, that's who the Lord is dealing with. Continuing on, my elect shall be manifest as gold that is tested by fire. Hear, mine elect, the Lord, behold, says what? The days of tribulation are at hand, and I will deliver you from them. Verse 75 is a beautiful reminder. Do not fear or doubt, for the Most High is your guide. Now let me come out of this here, right? Even Yahweh Shai stated during his ministry, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, because the Lord is going to be with us even until the end, even if that means death. But I want you to listen to this news story here, and I'm going to chime back in with the precepts momentarily.
In San Francisco, Marianne Favreau, NBC Bay Area News.
Good evening. It is closed due to its high operating costs, but tonight President Donald Trump says he has new plans for one of the Bay Area's most notorious historical landmarks, Alcatraz Island.
The president says he is directing his administration to reopen and expand the prison, and once it's rebuilt, he wants to send the nation's most violent offenders there. NBC Bay Area's Marianne Favreau reports from San Francisco.
President Trump has his own plans for Alcatraz. He wants to see prisoners return to the infamous island penitentiary. The president posted on Truth Social he's directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz.
It's a symbol of law and order. And, it's got quite a history, frankly. So I think we're going to do that, and we're looking at it right now.
Alcatraz closed back in 1963 because it was too expensive to operate. Now it is one of the most popular national park tourist sites in the nation. But President Trump wants to house the nation's most ruthless and violent offenders at Alcatraz.
It's an absurd, ridiculous, deranged idea.
California State Senator Scott Wiener says if the president moves forward with his plan, it could hurt Bay Area tourism and area businesses.
If he actually does this, in addition to the fact that we would then have a prison gulag in the middle of San Francisco Bay, this would be very bad for San Francisco and for the Bay Area. Alcatraz is one of our top tourist destinations.
In a statement posted on X, House Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi responded saying, quote, Alcatraz closed as a federal penitentiary more than 60 years ago. It is now a very popular national park and major tourist attraction. The president's proposal is not a serious one. Governor Gavin Newsom weighed in saying, looks like it's distraction day again in Washington, D.C. San Francisco resident Zahidul Islam says he's in disbelief the president is even considering reopening Alcatraz given the costs.
Instead of kind of opening up another prison, let's figure out how to maintain the existing one, or even kind of optimizing this existing one so that we don't spend so much money.
It's unclear how much it would cost to renovate the Rock, but a spokesperson for the Bureau of Prisons says the agency will comply with presidential orders. Currently, Alcatraz is operated by the National Park Service, welcoming approximately 1.2 million visitors a year. Al Capone served time here, and it has long been a source of intrigue. Now the new mystery is what will happen to Alcatraz in the future. In San Francisco, Marianne Favreau, NBC Bay Area News.
Let me stop there, right? And they basically covered it, but I want to touch on something that was written in this article. And as you can see in the headline, it states, Trump orders the reopening of Alcatraz prison. Let me say this. The scriptures tell us all prophecies have to be fulfilled. Revelation, the 2nd chapter, the 10th verse is going to happen. Remember, we serve a power that it is impossible for him to lie. Let me continue on. I'm going to read a portion of this. I'm going to get right back into the scriptures. San Francisco, May 4th, this was meaning this was a few days ago. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Sunday he was directing the Federal Bureau of Prisons to rebuild and reopen the infamous Alcatraz prison in the San Francisco Bay to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. Now, if you heard of if you were paying attention to the interactions in doing the interview here, doing this news story, they said that the man wasn't serious. But I'm gonna tell you now, oh, he's very serious. Okay, let me come out of this here because we get the point. Let's get right back into the scriptures here. Let's go to Revelation, the 12th chapter in the 17th verse. And it tells us this, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. Who's the dragon? Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the elites. Who's the woman? The house of Israel. All right, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. What's the remnant of her seed? The 12 tribes. But right now, the elect. Here's something I want to point out here, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. You see, the Christian church has a problem now because they don't even teach you to keep the commandments. Yes, we can't keep the commandments perfect in this captivity, but we're rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of our ability. And what's the testimony of Yahweh Shai? It tells us clearly in Revelation, the 19th chapter and the 10th verse. Because the testimony of Yahweh Shai is going into these prophecies over and over again. Like the scriptures tells us, like our power tells us, Yahweh, he tells us, give them warning from me, declares the Lord. What's the testimony of Yahweh Shai? Revelation, the 19th chapter and the 10th verse. And it reads, and I fell at his feet to worship him. This is when John the Revelator saw an angel. And he said unto me, thou doest not, don't do that. But why? I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. You see that? They're going to come after those that keep the commandment and those that push the testimony of Yahweh Shai, that continue to go into these prophecies, man. Let me come out of this here, right? Remember, in the book of Acts, let me get rid of this here. In the book of Acts, Bear with me 1 second, Baba Kusha. Acts chapter 14, verse 22. It reads this: confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. This goes to myself first and foremost. I'm preparing my mind on a regular daily basis for much tribulation, because the scriptures tells us with much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. It's going to take another level of faith, all right? An extreme, exorbitant level of faith to get through the straight gate, man. But if Lord willing, Yahweh Ratazah, if he's with us, we will endure into the end, and we're going to make it. Let's come out of this here. One more precept, and I got to get back to work. All right. Revelation, the 14th chapter and the 12th verse. And it reads, here's the patience of the saints. And who are the saints? The children of Israel. All right. Psalms chapter 50, verse 5. Psalms chapter 148, verse 14. All right. But again, I'm going to say this one more time. But right now, the Lord is dealing with the elect of the house of Israel. 1/3, that grape of a cluster. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith in Yahweh Shai. You see that? So hopefully this was edifying. Hopefully this inspired you to continue to push, to continue to believe, because with great tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.